All right. We all set? All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming to our May virtual community night. We are optimistic and hopeful that next month we'll be able to have at least a partially full live meeting. Lots of logistics that we need to figure out between now and then. But as more and more people get vaccinated and the governor releases and reduces some of the requirements for live meetings, obviously that's where VVM has always excelled in the past, and we're looking to rekindle some of that as we move forward here. One of the things that I wanted to touch upon this evening was the value of collaborations. And I think most people would agree that collaborations in general are essential for the greater good and greater success of an organization. Individuals will certainly have the vision, the work ethic, the technological know-how, sales and marketing, finance, all of the skill sets required for an organization, but they're not always in one person. And I think that what we need to focus on and what we have focused on at VVM is the power of working together. And that's been a critical component of Hope and my mission over the last year, is to reach out to other businesses as well, and entities within the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Clearly, you need to be cognizant of making sure you're not putting yourself at a competitive disadvantage. But when the opportunities arise to leverage the strengths of others, it's obviously wise to do so. And so that preamble was intentional to give a bit of a introduction and a description of our relationship that we've had with UMass Amherst, in particular the Berthiaume Center for Entrepreneurship, led by Gregory Thomas, who we're hoping is going to be able to poke his head in tonight at some point. But in his absence, we've got Carly Forcade, who is an essential part of Gregory's team, and along with Hope, the two of them in particular have really driven the success of our Collegiate Summer Venture Program. And if there's anything more specific that I haven't touched upon, then I'm sure Carly will be able to fill in the gaps. But we wanted to make sure that you knew, as part of the VVM community, that we value collaborations, and even within the entrepreneurial ecosystem of which UMass, and in particular Berthiaume, is a part of. But we're also reaching out to other organizations, figuring out ways to form partnerships in general or to help work on specific projects. And part of that decision was brought upon us by COVID, not really having a choice. But part of that is also Hope and my fervent belief in the concept of a rising tide lifts all ships. So we will continue to explore these opportunities that help VVM have a positive impact on entrepreneurs, their businesses, and the community. And to the extent that anyone has recommendations for us, we are all ears, because ultimately this is for everyone on this call. So with that, I will pass it over to Hope.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. Sorry, Chris, I think if you just mute, there's a little feedback. Sorry.
Yep.
Thank you again, everybody, for being here. We're really excited to kick off the summer in partnership with the UMass Berthiaume Center for Entrepreneurship and the Harold Grinspoon Entrepreneurship Initiative to be able to put on our Collegiate Summer Venture Program. It's a great program, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But first, I wanted to just give some updates on upcoming things at Valley Venture Mentors. So there are lots of ways that you can connect with us here at VVM. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, and feel free to reach out to us via email and also to sign up for our newsletter. I'll put the link to this slide deck in the chat later on as well. And if you'd like, you can feel free to email me. Some events that we run on Valley Venture Mentors, we run the Entrepreneurial Roundtable every Tuesday evening from 5 to 6. It's a weekly meetup that is open to entrepreneurs and mentors in all industries and stages. It's a place where you can come, address your challenges, brainstorm, network, and it's really just an open-ended place where you know that you can always go to address whatever it is that you're going through in your business, the good and the bad. Usually we all give an opportunity for everyone to kind of introduce themselves, as well as to chime in with any questions that they might have or specific asks. So I'd love for you to join us on Tuesday evenings on Zoom from 5 to 6, and maybe in the not so distant future, who knows, we'll pursue some sort of hybrid or in-person model. But for now, we're on Zoom. Please make sure to sign up for upcoming community nights as well. This community night happens on the second Wednesday of the month. And the following on June 9th is the next community night. And we'll be doing a small business resource panel that is in partnership with the Springfield City Library. So if you click on the same link that you use to register for this community night, you can register for all of the community nights. So I would love to see you at all of the upcoming community nights as well. We are also going to be doing a workshop in partnership with Valley Arts Mentors that is really for creative entrepreneurs taking their business from passion to business. And so it's really a workshop for early career artists to learn about goal setting, reverse engineering, and strategic planning, and a lot of really essential things in taking kind of that creative passion that you have and turning it into an actual business. So we'll be talking about cash flow and financials, legal and tax considerations as well. So if you are a creative entrepreneur, or if you know a creative entrepreneur, please register for this workshop. It's on the Thursday, May 20th from 6 to 7:30. Also on Wednesday, May 28th, we'll be having another pitch camp. So if you want to come practice and perfect your pitch, you can register for our pitch camp. That's an underscore there in the bit.ly link. And again, you should be able to click all of these when I share the slide deck. But with that, I want to kick it off to Carly Forcade, who's the program director. I'm really, this is my favorite partnership that VVM has, definitely the most in-depth program and partnership that we have with the UMass Berthiaume Center for Entrepreneurship. And so I'll kick it over to Carly Forcade to talk a little bit more about how these programs came together and to tell you a little bit more about the program that we're offering over the summer. Carly?
Thank you, Hope. As Hope said too, it's one of my favorite programs that Berthiaume does, especially it's our sole summer program, and it's such a phenomenal partnership that we've had for these past 3 years with Valley Venture Mentors. For those of you who don't know me, again, my name is Carly Forcade. I'm the program manager for the Berthiaume Center for Entrepreneurship, and I switched gears a little bit over the summer as the program director for the CSVP. And this program really started back in 2019. The story I've been told and kind of learned that process, like a lot of great ideas, was born from a coffee shop in a conversation with our executive director and lecturer in the Eisenberg School of Management, Gregory Thomas, and the previous CEO of Valley Venture Mentors, Kristen Lutz. And they were both kind of talking about our simultaneously running summer accelerators that were both doing really great work in the Valley, but kind of competing in different ways and not necessarily joining together in a way that they could have been. So they had a conversation and talked more about how can we kind of fill some of these strategic gaps and really work together to provide the best kind of programming and support that we can for student entrepreneurs in their ecosystem. And that's really where the Collegiate Summer Venture Program was born. It's really a phenomenal partnership between, again, the Berthiaume Center for Entrepreneurship, which works and serves all students at UMass Amherst, while we're housed in the School of Eisenberg, we work with students across the campus at different levels and from different colleges as well. And the phenomenal organization Valley Venture Mentors in downtown Springfield, and really built this great program to work with student entrepreneurs in our ecosystem. It's been a wonderful opportunity really to get to work closer with Chris and Hope these past 2 years to build, as we pivoted this organization from an fully in-person in 2019 partnership to going online for the first time last year. And again, this summer, really figuring out how we can best serve our students and our partners. Hope, I'd love if you and Chris could talk about a little bit your roles in the program as well, and the way that you've worked together with us within this partnership.
So I can start. Part of my role is a lot of helping out with the interview process and kind of all of the curriculum development and getting the schedule set, getting all of the ducks in a row so that we're prepared for our program. It's an intensive summer accelerator program, and then I'm always there live with Carly as well throughout the program time, helping to support entrepreneurs with their needs, as well as liaising with the entrepreneurs and residents and making sure that they are able to best fit the needs of the entrepreneurs in the group. Chris? I don't know if I missed anything, Carly.
I think that sounded a lot more summarized. The details obviously go much deeper than that. Whereas for me, I'm largely behind the scenes. Last year, I actually did, what's the right word? Teach.
The workshops.
Yeah, I hosted one of the workshops. So that was a little bit more hands-on with the student entrepreneurs. But for the most part, I'm the 30,000 foot person, and just make sure that if there is anything that Hope and Carly ever need for support, that I'm there. And the two of them do such a great job that there's not a heck of a lot for me to do other than rubber stamp a lot of things. They've got this all under control. And for those students who are on here tonight, you are going to have a great experience. It's going to be a work hard situation for you. And but I think you will, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it, for sure.
Thank you, Chris. And really just to echo something Chris just said, that's something we hear at the end of the summer. All of our ventures say, you really get out of it what you put into it. It's definitely a work hard. There's a little bit of play hard, but it's a work hard summer where you're really working to build something of your own. It's not a class assignment. It's not something that a professor is kind of assigned to you, which sometimes could be phenomenal. But this is really an opportunity to decide how can you move something that you've built from the ground up, move it forward and create something really new, innovative, and exciting in this world. So it's a great opportunity to do that. A little bit about the program, we mentioned some of these pieces, but it's a 10-week intensive summer accelerator where you're working with 2 entrepreneurs and residents throughout the summer who are experienced entrepreneurs, really have done this themselves and working together with you day in and day out. Our program starts June 1st and goes through August 4th with graduation. If any of you are on this call would love to kind of see some of our entrepreneurs on graduation on July 30th, we'd love to have you to really see where you're going to hear some of the ventures pitch today, and then see where they kind of come out 10 weeks down the line after working in this intensive summer accelerator program. We also have 30 mentors that we work with. I think this summer we're actually hoping for 33 for our 11 entrepreneurs and ventures that are going to be in the program this summer. So 33 mentors that are working with these ventures. Each venture has a mentor triad that they work with, so a group of 3 mentors that they're working with every single week. They're intensively working on customer discovery. One of our requirements is that our ventures do 100 customer discovery interviews over the course of those 10 weeks, which if you've done customer discovery before, you know it's not an easy feat, but something that's really worthwhile at the end of the summer when they can really test and validate their businesses to see, again, what are our customers asking for, what are they looking for, and how can we serve their needs. So that's a little bit about our program. I'm sure I didn't go in too much detail, but I'm also going to pop our website into the chat. So if you're interested in looking and following along with these entrepreneurs throughout the course of the summer, we really encourage you to do so. In addition, if you're interested in getting more involved, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll put my email in the chat. We're always looking for workshop leaders or mentors to join us for the summer as well. And the last piece I also don't want to forget to mention, we're thrilled to have Grinspoon as a partner as well this summer, a sponsoring partner that are giving $2,000 of prize money toward the end of the summer for our entrepreneurs to potentially compete for a little bit of funding. So it's a great new partnership that we're really excited to have in addition to these three great partners.
Thank you, Carly. Yeah, it's really a fantastic program. People who are either current students, graduate students, or alumni from the past 10 years of any of the 14 Grinspoon schools. Harold Grinspoon has the Entrepreneurship Initiative. I'll also put the link for that in the chat. But there are 14 colleges and universities in that network that all have faculty representation and different entrepreneurship initiatives that happen on their campus. And this program is open to all of the 14 schools. And I think we have 7 schools represented this cohort. So I'm really excited about that. And really great, another great example of the power of connecting and collaborating. Okay, so with that, I want to shift gears a little bit. We're really excited to have a couple of our ventures that are participating in the program this year, and we're going to have them pitch. One of our ventures was not able to make it today because she's currently teaching a class, but she did submit a pitch. So I wanted to include this, and I'll hopefully. Just let me know if you can still hear it because I have my microphone plugged in. Oh no, you can't, right? 1 second. I'm sorry. Please bear with me. Sorry, 1 second. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you for having me. I am so honored to be with you today. My name is Yasmin, the founder and CEO of Africana Dance and Fitness. Africana Dance and Fitness is committed to empowering women in the Pioneer Valley to live a healthy lifestyle through dance, fitness, and body positivity. We believe when women from diverse backgrounds move together to African-inspired music, they generate a powerful community spirit. I teach group exercise classes from total beginners to fitness enthusiasts. The classes that I offer include Strong Hit, which is a combination of martial art and boot camp, African dance, Zumba classes, Zumba Gold for seniors, and functional strength training. I'm also a certified personal trainer and a certified specialist in sports nutrition. Helping women to improve their physical and mental health through exercise and empowerment is my passion. Thank you.
That is one of our ventures, and I'm so excited. I was glad that she was able to share her pitch with us. And now we're going to move towards, we have a couple of live pitches from our ventures presentations.
Thank you for having me.
So
Thank you for having me. I am so honored.
And next we have Yasmin's Decorations, Nancy Constanza.
Hello, my name is Nancy Constanza. I am a first-year student at Hampshire College. I am also a first-generation student. I am concentrated in business, especially entrepreneurship. I am also interested in science, but I haven't discovered any specific field yet. I have been working on my business for 3 months. In high school, I used to make paper flowers as a hobby. During the fall semester, some people at Hampshire saw my flowers and they loved my decorations. During the spring semester, I was not able to get a work-study job, which led me to turn my hobby into a business where I am able to get money by doing something that I love and enjoy. My business, Yasmin Decorations, creates custom paper floral arrangements and decorations. Customers can view an online catalog where they can choose from a variety of products and colors. I designed a customer rewards program where I give different products to my clients depending on the amount that they spend or if they are returning customers. I am looking for ways to improve my business skills, such as how to build a strong relationship with new clients and how to define prices for new products. My summer goals are to create a website, social media, such as Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. That's wonderful. And I'm so excited to have you in the cohort. I think it's going to be a perfect fit for your needs.
Thank you.
And now we have Team Learning.
Hi, actually, we have made a presentation. So can I share the link of that?
Sure. Do you want to just share your screen?
Okay, I can share my screen.
I'll just, here.
Just allow me to do that.
Should be okay now.
Yeah. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Vishesh.
I'm Setij.
And I'm Vrinda, and we are here presenting a venture named Learning.
Learning something new has become a real challenge nowadays. With declining attention spans, watching hour-long videos has become tiring and exhausting. Let's admit it. None of us enjoy watching very long and little engaging content provided all over the internet, whether it's learning to code or learning to paint. The time spent over those long videos is too much, but its output is just the opposite. Big isn't always the best. We want to take your learning experience from spending hours on long, dreaded, boring videos and lectures to short, engaging minute-long videos that are filled with fun, memes, GIFs, and hacks, helping you to upskill and retain what you have learned. Our aim is to gamify learning and make it more engaging and fun for everyone.
Our product is a short video app and website that shows you content related to your passion from over 50 categories. You can upskill yourself by watching short videos and also through quizzes and contests going on in the app. After the COVID pandemic, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and there is a continuous need among everyone to learn and gain new skills. In short, it's like TikTok, but it teaches you.
As you can see from the graph, Learning aims to provide highest return of investment for minutes spent on learning. With something new popping up every minute, the learning opportunity is huge. We conceptualized this idea on 20th August last year, and we started developing the app. We now have more than 250 plus beta users. We are looking forward to the rollout of the iOS app soon. Our primary focus right now is to get the best content creators on board and get started with marketing and expansion.
Content can be of all types, from like French speaking lessons, motivational videos, fashion hacks, to tips and technologies. We are also focusing on personality development videos and how to speak better and confidently. Maybe we can also have minute-long videos on how to pitch your idea better to an investor. I think we guys need such videos too. If you are a coder, there can be lots of tips and tricks videos, or an economic major can even watch minute-long videos simplifying big terms like asset turnover ratio. Even I don't know that what it is, but I know Learning will get me covered. We also have a diverse business model so that we do not depend solely on one revenue generating stream. We are primarily focusing on ads, but in the future, we also want to do corporate training, and we can bring premium membership for exclusive content. Our vision remains to keep the majority content free and accessible to everyone.
We will be using AI and word embedding to bring the right content to the right audience. Major benefit that we provide is that we help content creators to reach out to their right audience. For example, a creator posting videos to economics will reach out to the user who chooses that particular category.
This is our team. We started working together on this venture about 8 months back, and we still carry the same passion and excitement for it like we had on day one. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Those were really, really amazing. I appreciate that. Okay, so for now, does anybody have any questions for our ventures? Feel free to pop them into the chat, or you can come right off mute, ask your questions.
Team Learning, could you tell me a little bit about what are some of the goals or things that you're hoping to learn this summer in the program?
Yeah, majorly we have two goals that we want to learn. First, we want to understand on how we can market our product better. That is to reach a wider amount of audience. Second is that we want to learn on how we can get the best content creators on board. So how we can maybe hire or run challenges or something so that we get the right content, and also we are able to reach out to more people through our marketing strategies and our revenue streams here.
Anybody else? I know we also have Daisy here. Daisy, would you like to tell us a little bit about your idea?
Hi, all. Thanks for having me. We'll get excited. So I'm Daisy Hernandez. My venture is a floral shop that will provide lower cost floral arrangements to mostly so far the customer we've identified are like nonprofits and businesses in the Springfield area. But I believe in my heart this could be something greater than just a Springfield area. And the floral shop will serve as dual purpose for a space for psychoeducational groups, because the florists will be women who are in recovery and under supervision of the Department of Children and Families or the Department of Criminal Justice. And these women, come with certain requirements that they have to fulfill. And, having the opportunity to develop a resume, right, and working different positions at a flower shop as a creative or as a bookkeeper, administrative, reception, whatever, they can develop a resume that will allow them to, successfully or be financially independent and successfully re-enter their communities and their families and allowed to fulfill all the requirements that are imposed on them by DCF or the criminal justice system. We'll have a space there for the creatives to complete these psychoeducational groups that are often required by these supervising systems.
Thank you, Daisy. I appreciate that. I kind of put you on the spot, so I appreciate your willingness to tell us about your idea. Collegiate Summer Venture Program is a little bit about that, getting out of the comfort zone. So we did have a shorter program tonight than normal, and so. Does anybody, real quick before we kind of move forward, have any other questions or comments or feedback for our ventures, or any words of advice that you might want to impart on our ventures as they embark on this journey? Don't be shy. Kind of my advice goes along with the same advice that Carly and Chris had mentioned about you kind of get what you put in to a program like this. An accelerator program can really take your business and really launch it depending on where you are. If you're in the idea phase, can really push you towards being prepared to launch. And if you're already in business, it can really take you to the next level, but it's not going to do that without you putting in the effort. And one of the things that I love about this program is the networking opportunities that you get by coming into contact with lots of mentors, community resources, organizations like Valley Venture Mentors, the Berthiaume Center for Entrepreneurship. There's an entire ecosystem out there. And Chris was mentioning this a little bit when he was referring to the partnerships, but I always recommend to all of the ventures that they really take advantage of whether it's just offers to connect and to be building your network is really, really important and valuable. And I think I learned that a little bit late in the game, but I think it's really, really, truly important. And one of the best parts about a program like this is all of the individuals from a variety of different industries with different backgrounds and experiences and things that they have that to offer, both your venture and you even just as an individual, you know, in this stage in your life. So I think that was one of the things that I recommend, is to make sure to take advantage of all of those opportunities to connect and network that this, not only this program, but the other programs like this provide as well. Any other thoughts to share with our ventures as they embark on this journey? Or questions from our ventures?
I think, Hope, just to jump in, one of the things I wanted to echo that you were saying too, it's just really, I think one of the things I'm thinking through as well is just carving out that time for yourself before the program gets started. Like, take a breather, especially if you just ended your semester and you're just finishing finals. I know some students are just really getting through that. They may still be in finals as we're kind of working through this right now. So thank you for being here, first of all. But then getting ready for the summer, what that really looks like, and thinking intentionally about what you want to accomplish by the end of the program. And then getting ready to dive in. It can be intensive. I think there's a couple of people on here who've been through various different accelerator programs themselves. And I've been through an accelerator program, and it gets really intense very quickly, but making sure to create space for yourself, trying to take advantage of all of those resources as they're kind of presented to you, because after the program, although you may sometimes want to kind of dive in a little bit later, but you want to make sure you're taking advantage of those things while they're happening. And taking notes and being diligent and following up with people, all of those things really make a big difference. And thinking strategically of how you want to move your business forward, and really utilizing the resources that are kind of provided to you during that time to really launch your business and move you forward.
Thank you for that, Carly. Anyone else? Come on, nobody has some words of wisdom that they want to impart right now?
Well, I thought that video was very solid. The one on the learning program. I have a confession. Like, it's you know, we have this shorter attention span, and including me for sure. And so on the one hand, you're serving people by having videos that would work well, and then I got a little worried, like, you know, it's sort of hard to balance. Like, we also don't want to make the problem worse. So like it's not like one little training thing could affect somebody's attention span, but I just wanted to share that as like a confession. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to really address that, but I thought I would just say it. But the video itself, and I would still be really interested to see that product, and the video was really good.
Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I don't know. One of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs don't pay an awful lot of attention to, and they really should, is not just cash flow, but runway. The last thing you want to do is have financial pressure, whether that's because your significant other has lost their job, or maybe you've lost your job and you're really trying to scrimp and save. But running out of money and seeing the end in sight is really it's a bummer, to be sure, but it's one of those things that you need to, set at least draw a line in the sand saying, if I hit this point, I'm going to make a decision as to whether I cut and run or I continue and put more resources in. And I really think, what they say in The Gambler, the song The Gambler, is just right. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. And that decision is probably the hardest decision any entrepreneur makes, because, you're dealing with at least the intellectual equivalent of a child. And nobody likes to toss their child overboard. But sometimes he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. You know, take that seriously. I mean, it's scary out there, but you can do it unless you sort of ignore the obvious stuff and stop asking stop asking the question, when is enough enough? And don't run out of energy and don't run out of money. It's all.
Thank you, Jim. Great point.
I think what the corollary to what Jim's trying to say is you've got to have some humility and know what you don't know and recognize where your knowledge deficit areas are. And I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs that can be in market research, financials, different. You're good at one thing or maybe several things, but to build a successful business, there's a number of categories, and listening to advisors who oftentimes can be your investors as to the other things that you need help with. I think Chris is smiling. I'm not sure. Maybe he's smiling my Red Sox hat. I don't know.
Well, I think what you've touched upon, Mike, is exactly what we were saying right in the very beginning, which is you've got to know your strengths, you've got to know your weaknesses, and taking Jim's point, just adding on to that, you got to know when to fold them if need be. The good news is for the students on here, you've got the safety net of being in school. So you can try things now that maybe you wouldn't necessarily try if it was the real world and your own money and all that. But use that to your advantage.
And you can also start every ask of somebody you want to get help from with, I'm a student doing X, which is a lot better intro than I'm an entrepreneur, I'm starting a company, because people who hear that frequently think that the next thing they're going to be asked for is money. Whereas they know if you're a student, you're probably looking for knowledge in addition to other sorts of resources possibly, or expertise.
That's so true. And thinking about that, I always, when thinking about customer discovery, and this is one of my big recommendations with customer discovery, is to go about it in that same way that I'm a student in a class on entrepreneurship. Could I ask you a few questions? Because chances are they're not going to feel like you're trying to sell them if you go about it in that way, but thinking about that question of runway and knowing when to fold them, and how sometimes entrepreneurs are very headstrong and they fall in love with their idea, which is important, but at the same time they can have blinders on to their idea being the only thing that they're focused on, and they're not seeing the big red flags that maybe their idea is not viable, which is why in a program like this, where we have a really strong focus on customer discovery, on building your business in a lean fashion early, developing an MVP, really testing the product market fit and testing our assumptions, because a lot of times we go ahead, if we don't do those things early on and we just continue down the road of building the product or service, of building the business, and then we realize 5 years down the line, I'm not making money because nobody wants what I'm doing. And that's a really hard realization to make 5 years down the line, which is why a program like this is really important. It's intensive, but it really gives you the opportunity to build your business intentionally, knowing that it's going to be viable, that it's going to be serving a need for a customer, and that you have a higher likelihood of being able to get it off the ground because you've done so intentionally.
Can I rephrase that?
Sure.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, in working with people, just rephrase what you said a little bit is you've got to meet the needs of the customer, and nothing makes my head explode bigger and faster than when somebody texts me and they're trying to explain why they've got a great idea, and they start with why it's cool. Cool things are what you do on your own on the weekends, and not part of class and not part of a business. People don't buy cool, people buy things that make their lives better.
Or benefits, to be more specific, right?
Right. But Rube Goldberg contraption that flips and flops and has balls and bells and things swinging for 5 minutes on a video is cool, but nobody buys them.
I think I would just add to all this. In fact, everything that has just been said is super important, whether you realize it or not. And I think probably the best way to, for me to sort of add to it is to say that this is actually more about the entrepreneur than it is about the company or the product. As you go through this process, every time and it's not so much you failing, it's every time an idea or a part of the project fails, or what you thought was going to be the answer is not the answer, you become a better entrepreneur. And that's what really matters. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll look back at this and say, oh my God, I can't believe how much I learned going through that process. And you guys being students, of course, are constantly in that mode already. But in this particular case, this is a different way of learning. This is a learn by doing, and it's a great way to do it. And, I'm proud of you all, and just keep going.
Thank you all. We're really excited to have a really great cohort of ventures. I like just going back to one of the things that Jim said. Jim has been kind enough to kind of come in and lead some of our sessions, particularly later into the program, talking about really digging into your finances. So Nancy, I was excited to hear that you may have some revenue already that we can dig into a little bit deeper and see how can we expand that? How can we make that grow? How can we look at your pricing sheets and really digging in to see how can we expand your business in the long run? And maybe there's some pivots we need to make along the way. So it's some tough conversations that we have to really see and get into the nitty gritty behind the scenes. Maybe it's some learning that we're doing along the way, but thank you, Bill, Cole, and Mike, to talk about that a little bit further with these students. It's really valuable information.
I remember listening to a guy named Clay Christensen say that usually it takes 3 or 4 attempts before you got it right. And I think what the right way to look at any venture is it's an economic experiment. And, that's why people talk about hypotheses. It's a big word, but the point is you're testing what you think you know against what's really out there. And, just because it doesn't work the way you originally envisioned, you're served lemons, so make lemonade. Figure out how to make lemonade. And, don't give up until you ought to give up.
Carly, I don't know if this is responsive to your question, but when you're talking to people and trying to get insights, information, it's, people who are experts or are passionate about something, they want to talk about themselves. So your role is, sorry about that, is, listening and trying to understand how what their expertise and insights are going to shape your business plan and your activities. Because you may find that what you were thinking is here, and what they're telling you is that the real market opportunity is, 45 degrees different. It's over here. It's a different application. It's a different market. I was just talking to some entrepreneurs in a business challenge last week, and they had all different market segments, and they were focusing on one. And I was pretty convinced that one of the ones that they had down as a third priority was actually the one they should really start with, for a variety of reasons. And, I could suggest to what they do, but not tell them. So listening to people who have real world market experience, customers, about what they are looking to buy, what their need, can help shape your things in very important ways. So, if you just set things up, a lot of times people will just tell you everything you need to know. You just got to listen.
One of my most favorite terms when dealing with entrepreneurs is coachability. And if you are not open to suggestions, then it can be a very lonely path. That's not to say that everybody always has the right ideas, but as Mike was getting at, you've got to at least listen to all the options. And if you decide after hearing all the options that you want to go down a different path, it may not be advised, but okay, fair enough. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, but you have to at least listen. in order for you to be an effective leader and entrepreneur.
One of the things, jumping in on that little, Chris, that we talk about a lot in the program, or at least the beginning, is that mentor whiplash that you get too at times, when one mentor is telling you to do another maybe is saying something different. And as the founder, you really need to decide and make those critical decisions for yourself and your business. What am I going to do next? And those decision-making skills will come. Sometimes one of the things that we really talk about is if all your mentors are telling you the same thing, your customers are putting you in a direction, that's when it's maybe you gotta really think about that critically if you're still not listening to it at that point. But going back to that coachability for yourself and your business to help you really move forward. And a lot of the times that kind of comes down to pivoting and needing to make those necessary changes for your business as you move forward. So thank you, Chris, for that too. That's a really, really important pieces.
Anybody else have any questions or things that they'd like to share? Go for it.
So the first thing
Victoria, I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. Shatoya.
That's very important, and it's important to be willing.
Shatoya, we can't hear you. You're breaking up. I don't know if it would help if you put your camera off, maybe. For some reason you're breaking up. I'm not sure why.
How's this? Am I still breaking up?
No, I can hear you better now. Thank you.
Good. Okay, I turned off my Bluetooth and closed my tabs. Okay, so in regards to pitting, I think it's important to, when you see that there's a change to be made, or you have questions about your market or your consumers or mentors are taking you in a different direction, it's very important to take heed early on, because the deeper you get into your business, the more, I won't say liability, because I think we have a broad idea what that is, but liability in regards to your time, in regards to the money you're investing, in regards to the energy you're investing. The earlier you can change and you can pivot and you can convince yourself that it is your priority is not just to have a business, but to have a successful one. And that success comes with addressing problems, addressing these weeds head on, you'll be ahead of the game. Because I think a lot of people are afraid of change, are afraid to, what everyone has pretty much said, be flexible in their ideas and what they think their business should look like and what it should be and how fast it should be built. The sooner you realize that change is inevitable, especially as you learn more about yourself and your consumers, the better off you'll be in your entrepreneurial journey.
Thank you, Shatoya. That was awesome. Anybody else want to share? Well, we could give you 9 minutes of your life back and end early. You know, if people are probably it's almost dinner time, so I'm sure we're getting hungry. But anyway, does anybody want to share anything real quick before we close up?
It's almost time for a first pitch for the Red Sox. What you meant to say, right?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely what I meant to say. Well, perfect. I did that on purpose. It was intentional.
So are we going to get an opportunity to see these pitches again? Is this going to be an ongoing process? Okay, great.
Yeah, there will be a few opportunities where the ventures will have an opportunity to pitch. Some of them are internal, some of them are public facing. So, we'll definitely keep you posted. And if there's anything that you would like to, feel free to reach out to Carly or I if you have questions or you want to support the ventures in some way or share your knowledge or expertise with the ventures. We are definitely interested in speaking with people who would be interested in connecting with the ventures as well. Carly or Chris, do you have anything you want to add before we wrap up?
From my perspective, just thanks everyone for coming, and to the students, good luck. You're going to be in for a bit of a ride here, and I can't wait to see your progress.
Just to echo that, thank you to the students for coming in the middle of or the end of finals. We appreciate you. They just, for the audience as well, they just found out early last week that they were in this program. So we appreciate you pulling together a pitch so quickly, joining us. It's really exciting to see where you are now, and we're excited to be working with you in a few weeks. Thank you for joining us tonight. And to the people here on this call, thank you for giving them some feedback and advice before they're diving in. We appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thanks, everyone.